So a good evening from Rob Palmer as the teams take to the field. York City of the second division, a big night for them, taking on Manchester United. And the depleted Manchester United, Alex Ferguson again taking the opportunity to blood one or two new faces. Of course, it was last year at this stage that Alex Ferguson was criticised for playing what are now known as the Fergie fledglings, who are forming the crux of the first team. Well, the man who's making his debut tonight is Kevin Pilkington, his first start in the United first team goalkeeper shirt. Of course, he has played as a substitute against Crystal Palace, but he's given his opportunity, as is the number 4, Pat McGibbon, the Northern Ireland international, who will be partnering Steve Bruce in the centre of defence. There's Gary Pallister, who will be skipper in the absence of Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce is on the substitutes bench. This is how United line up. Kevin Pilkington in goal, the back 4 of Paul Parker at 2, Dennis Irwin at 3, Pallister the captain at 6, Pat McGibbon will be wearing number 4, sounds like a boxer's name. In midfield, we'll have Phil Neville, who was left back at the weekend, probably on the right wing tonight. David Beckham at 8 and Lee Sharp at 5 in the centre of midfield, with Simon Davis wearing the number 10 shirt, playing on the left-hand side of that foursome. Up front, Ryan Giggs 11, partners Brian McClare back from injury at the weekend, and the substitutes tonight, Graham Tomlinson, the man who Alex Ferguson signed as a boy really from Bradford about 18 months ago, Steve Bruce and Terry Cook, no substitute goalkeeper. There is Pat McGibbon, the new face, taking some fatherly advice from Paul Parker, who will be playing alongside him in the right back role. The York City team, a little unknown, but some very promising young players in their side. A very good goalkeeper in Dean Kiley, former Coventry player who was at Lilleshall with Andy Cole. Their back 4, number 2, Andy McMillan, right back. Left back is Wayne Hall, receding hairline, but does score the odd spectacular goal from distance. Tony Barrett 6 and Steve Tuttle, the centre halves in midfield. Graham Murty at 7, Darren Williams at 8, Nigel Pepper holds it together, the number 4, Scott Jordan 11, and up front their top scorer Paul Barnes at 9, and Nicky Peverill at 10, their substitutes. 12 Paul Barker, 14 Paul Atkin, and the substitute goalkeeper is Andy Warrington. Referee tonight is Jim Rushton, who hasn't come too far from Stoke-on-Trent to check with his linesmen, Mr. Birch and Mr. Haxby. And it's Manchester United who kick off. It may only be a Coca-Cola Cup tie, but there's hardly a spare seat in the house. And the Minstermen bringing 5,000 fans with them to Old Trafford for what is probably the biggest night in the career of many of these York City players. York managed by Alan Little, brother of Brian, the Aston Villa manager, and an equally promising manager as well. They are a footballing side, and in common with Manchester United, they have a very flourishing youth system. In fact, about 4 or 5 of the players lined up against the Manchester United youth team of '92, the United team which went on to win the FA Youth Cup. Unfortunately for York, they lost 5-0 on that night, and we all know how Ryan Giggs' class has come on since. An early touch for the boot of Kevin Pilkington into the quite cool September evening, and Ryan Giggs accused of throwing his weight around. Now there's a rarity. Barris to take the free kick, a former Stockport County player. Barnes. An early shot coming in, it wasn't far away from Scott Jordan. A nice little build-up, obviously something York have worked upon, and Jordan almost found the hoop. Sharp's head on, Giggs looking for McClare. Alex Ferguson bringing a great deal of versatility to this United team. Giggs playing as a centre forward. Beckham playing as a right winger. Neville at the moment tucking inside. There's an early touch for Pat McGibbon on his debut. Back to the other debutant, Pilkington. They combine well. A night for Pilkington and McGibbon that neither are going to forget. Jordan to Hall. Number 4 is Pepper. Not a particularly spicy ball from him though. Parker with the foot in. Paul Parker having an excellent return to the starting 11 at the weekend against Bolton Wanderers when United cruised. Jordan's up and under. Barnes tangles with McGibbon, who gets the header away. No real height in the United attack, but it's a mistake by the York defender. Able to Beckham. Continues his run. Good solid challenge from Tuttle. Now York break. They're a pretty fleet-footed side. A lot of promising players in their team. A chance for them to excel in front of watching scouts on the very big stage tonight. Giggs. Oh, lovely little trick. And McMillan had to get in there quickly. But Giggs has obviously been learning a trick or two in his time on the sidelines. McGibbon. Giggs. Again, the fancy layoff. Barasot quickly onto the ball. Lee Sharp. Leclerc. Neville to Beckham. Just the foot in enough for Hall. That's a little short for goalkeeper Kiley. The keeper puts his full weight behind it. And a little bit of elbow in from Paul Barnes. Erwin. Pallister with a very confident back header to Pilkington. Manchester United build from the back. Dennis Irwin. A little short for Lee Sharp, who had to fight to win it back. It's his throw anyway. Pallister. Neville to McGibbon. It may be a new look United team, but many of these players have performed on dozens of occasions together in the youth and reserve teams at Old Trafford. Philip Neville, brother of Gary, to Parker. Now to David Beckham. Lovely ball from Parker. Ryan Giggs coming short, couldn't quite get into the path of Beckham. York build this rather direct approach from the lower divisions. Peveril. Support with him from Murty. Gets inside the area. Falls for Jordan, who loves a shot. That's the second he's had. Now Pepper. Onside, Paul Barnes only just has to beat Dennis Irwin, which is easier said than done. Good build up from York, all falls down around the 18-yard box, and Phil Neville can just try and set things up again, but maybe the youthfulness of the United side, a little too rash in trying to build up from the back. Now McGibbon. Sharp makes a run, doesn't find him. Alex Ferguson has been asking for a certain amount of patience and too much of a raising of expectations for this team. It could well be top at the weekend. As Giggs goes on a run. York's defence looks pretty solid. The keeper untested so far. The only shot at goal, of course, coming at the other end. Scott Jordan. Gary Pallister. Into Giggs, who is surprisingly good in the air. Not the tallest player on the pitch, but he leaps well. Pallister again. Beckham's wide. This is Neville. Now Parker. Well, spurting all over Old Trafford, waiting for the pass, but it's kept short. Beckham. Parker. It's a game of tolerance at the moment for Manchester United as they try and find their feet and establish some kind of pattern. From Macmillan, Pallister just getting really head and shoulders above the York attacker. Sly shove from Philip Neville on his opposite number, Scott Jordan. And York will delay this to allow the big men to go forward for this free kick. Now Macmillan, height at the far post. It's not a bad pass in. Here's an early chance for Barnes. And he skewered it just the wrong way. A very experienced player, the York City number 9, who's performed for Notts County and Stoke City. And he's worth a few goals in the lower divisions. Clare. Best almost a father of this team tonight. Here's a chance for Ryan Giggs. Doesn't quite go the right way, and that's going to be a corner. The first hint of nervousness in the York City defence. Beckham to take it. Manchester United fans as well as the York defenders trying to pick out who's who in there, and Pallister recognisable by the face. The header not on target. Maybe he'll want to hide his identity from that one. The odds on a York victory tonight is something like 20-1 with the bookmakers before the game, but they do have a history of upsetting teams. They beat Arsenal in the FA Cup just over 10 years ago, 1-0, a famous victory. But not a particularly good record in the Coca-Cola Cup or under its various guises. Having been past round 1 in the previous 5 years to this. Parker, good little shimmy from McClare, shakes off the defender, but it's a slippery old surface. Beckham, certainly a handball, not intentional, nor gaining any advantage. The interpretation of the linesman and referee. Brian McClare nods it on. Going to be left to the goalkeeper. Dean Kiley has a deputy tonight. Andy Warrington. York normally, like United, go without a substitute goalkeeper, but the manager's a little worried that the goalkeeper may be overcome by the occasion, so he has picked a number 2. That's a free kick to York, very eager to take it. I would imagine everybody in one of those blue shirts would like to take this free kick and score a goal at Old Trafford tonight. Paul Barnes, the number 9, looking the most likely candidate, but Pepper can hit them. Pepper does! Oh, dear me, a screecher. Well, with a name like Pepper, that could have conjured up all kinds of headlines tomorrow. But that was some hot shot. An early scare for Manchester United. York City not renowned for their most vociferous of fans. Rather a tame city. Have their fans up on their feet, cheering their heroes. The retaliation in terms of volume from the United fans now. Wilkinson straying out of his area. It's not a bad pass actually, looking for the head of Lee Sharp. Bounds kindly for the United left winger. But McMillan's done well against Lee Sharp. Holds his ground. Irwin. Giggs lets it go. Confident football from York. There's a chance again. They've had 3 good chances, and that time it was only Paul Parker who is between Graham Murty and a shot at goal. Murty stoling well. Their football is direct, but it's certainly not kick and rush York City. The blue shirts crowd Kevin Pilkington's goal mouth. Like Hinchcliffe in his corner taking. Plays it to the penalty spot. In comes the centre half, and it needed better reflexes than that from number 6 Tony Barras to direct it towards goal. If it had fallen to anybody other than the stopper, that could have been a real shock on the cards. But still no goals. Away goes Ryan Giggs. I would imagine he's got more pace than any of the York defenders. And a lot better control. What else has he got? Squares it. Falls now. But Beckham required a bit of space and wasn't allowed it. Pallister. Parker makes a run out wide. He gets it. Beckham. The intention was right. The pass wasn't quite. Parker. Now Pilkington. Hasn't taken long for the chorus, the Cantona chorus, to rifle around Old Trafford. Still, of course, a week and a half before Big Eric's return. Manchester United still trying to find their feet. I've said before, a number of players out of position. Beckham in a right wing role. And we have a winger and a full back in centre of midfield in terms of Neville. Now Lee Sharp playing in the centre of midfield as well. And Brian McClair, normally midfielder, centre forward, alongside Ryan Giggs, a left winger normally playing centre forward as well. A real shuffle of the pack for Alex Ferguson, but a test of the players' characters as well. Alex Ferguson quite right in his programme notes tonight, pointing out that the experts have egg on their face, the experts who last season at this stage were criticising him for playing the likes of Beckham and Butt and Scholes in the Coca-Cola Cup. Those so-called unknowns and kids are now very much regulars here. This is Beckham to Paul Parker. Lacked the concentration at the vital moment. It's the likes of Parker and Pallister who need to lead the way tonight. McGibbon. Barnes helps the ball on. Certainly a push on Lee Sharp. The referee maybe giving Manchester United the advantage. It's fallen their way anyway. Now Phil Neville to Parker. Neville again in a tight situation. Great run from Owen. Can he find him? He does. Owen cutting inside. Now McClair back to Sharp. Great build-up. What will it produce? Oh dear. Well, the hands directly on the head from Lee Sharp. Sum up his and Old Trafford's disappointment in the finish to a very promising build-up. Bit of backing in from Nicky Peverell. Goes Sharp on the run. He's found Sharp as well inside the defence. Can he steady himself? He can't quite. Giggs might! Oh dear me, whisker away. Ryan Giggs, fleet-footedness then, almost stole in after Lee Sharp had plodded the ball through to him. But still no goals for Manchester United. Almost a quarter of the game gone. 1/8 of the tie, of course, with the sides having to go back to York the 3rd or 4th of October. Now Neville. Beckham outside of it. Beckham's cross, that's a lovely little cross, a dangerous cross. And it's McClair! Oh, just tipped over the bar by Kiley. It seemed to be stuck in the air forever, that one. And Brian McClair trying to chip the goalkeeper with a head. It's taken short. Giggs puts it in. And a very brave tackle indeed, just inside his own 6-yard box from Pepper. This is better from Manchester United. Beckham with red shirts spurting around the 18-yard box. Again he's aiming for the head of Pallister and he's getting closer. What a good solid header from Neville. Set Giggs away, he's left the defender for dead. And again, this deserves a goal. He's just picking out the chance. Oh dear me, maybe Giggs should have got himself. That was pure magic. and tried to plonk it on the head of McClare. When the form he was in, he should have been a bit greedier possibly. Jordan, got a header by Owen. Now Pepper. It certainly has been a promising opening 20 minutes to this particular affair. Sharp. Good ball over the top by Davis to Owen. Now Giggs spins off his defender with such ease. Oh, nobody there again. Giggs' willingness to pass is backfiring on him at the moment. Now York, counter well through Barnes, two players in the centre. Murty at the near, Peveril at the far. Barnes goes alone, falls to Peveril, but good confident tackle by McGibbon, the debutant. Beckham. He's trying to get it to Giggs, didn't quite fall. Great control by the man in the number 7 shirt. No, it's not Cantona yet, it's Neville tonight. Barnes with a shot, takes a deflection. Oh, dear me! Wrong-footed Kevin Pilkington. And York City have taken the lead at Old Trafford. And boy, is he happy. Well, you have to give credit to Paul Barnes, who was all alone on the edge of the 18-yard box. Thought it was worth a try, chanced his luck, took a deflection, completely wrong-footed Kevin Pilkington, and news will now be filtering around the nation of a shock on the cards at Old Trafford. Well, I wonder what's going through the mind of Alex Ferguson. He may not think that is a particularly bad thing. It will be a real show of character now for the young players who are on cloud 9 after the magnificent display and result against Bolton at the weekend. And maybe the manager's thinking is that it will bring them a little bit back down to earth. Here they go. This is Davis. He's had a quiet game so far. Comes out of his shell a little bit. Davis back to Irwin, it's a stretch for him. Beckham. Giggs. Has he got a right footer? It wasn't far off. Ryan Giggs is getting better with every touch. Exquisite little turn. Measured how far the goalkeeper was off his line, but didn't quite measure the shot as well. Millen for York City. Barnes simply springing around Old Trafford after that goal, which I'm sure he'll claim credit for. The Manchester United fans being baited by the Yorkshireman. Delay to allow the York Giants to join the attack. Pepper curls it in. Free header for Pallister. Barnes the scorer. Pepper again. Pilkington stays on his lines. The height of Barris in there, but well dealt with. Hall's header. Neville wins it. Leclerc has a job to keep it in. Given fouled. Pallister. The York players seem to be growing in height. Their stature's taken a real confidence boost. Spotting actually that the York manager is calling his substitutes in. Surely he's not going to make any changes just yet. Given. Shot from Peveril. Easy for Pilkington. You have to feel for Peter Schmeichel's deputy. Hasn't had a save to make and was beaten what I'm sure he'll determine as a fluke. Again, onside. Barnes. Peveril in the centre. Barnes gets inside McGibbon, puts in a good cross. Pallister deflects it away, but the danger not over. Pepper to Hall. Paul Barnes. Wayne Hall. Tony Barris. The passing has been pretty sharp, York. Nothing really above head height, certainly no kick and rush. Here's Lee Sharp. Here's Ryan Giggs. Davis alongside him. Will Giggs go alone? No stopping him, but final pass is still lacking. Beckham takes it upon himself, and that was a late challenge, but the referee says, well intentioned. Beckham's down. Gary Pallister keeps possession, but that's a little flippant. Now Barnes. Run from midfield from Peveril. Good control as well, and a strong challenge from Irwin. McMillan. This is Darren Williams. Almost half an hour gone at Old Trafford. Half-time elsewhere in the country. News will be reaching a few dressing rooms that Manchester United are trailing to York City by a goal to nil. Can United come back? Clare certainly looks as though it'd been shoved from behind by Tuttle, although the referee trying to keep the game flowing, taking it to extremes at sometimes. Ball, play on. Wayne Hall. Interception from Parker was a good one. Graham Murty. Referee spots the linesman offside against, I think it was Williams who'd strayed in from the wing. Pallister looking for some movement. York containing Manchester United very well. Parker. It's been interesting that some of the more lazy passes have come from the experienced players. Here's Ryan Giggs. Now Dennis Irwin. It has to be said, he's had an excellent game. Sharp. Giggs. It's a good diagonal run right across the pitch, and McClare just catching the defender then, and in turn catching the referee's eye. Williams, United player. This looks better, but McClare beaten to the ball. A really determined performance from York. Pallister, very cool defending. It is Sharp. Pallister. Pilkington allowed to dribble the ball out. York management rather hoarse on the bench below us, demanding that the Minstermen just do a containing job. They'll be happy if they go in at half-time 1-0 up. I'll take that back, they'll be absolutely ecstatic. This is Beckham. Late challenge from David Beckham, and he's going to receive the yellow card for that, and maybe that was just a bit of frustration boiling over. David Beckham won't be happy with himself, and I would imagine he'll get a flea in his ear from Brian Kidd and Alex Ferguson as well when he goes in for his half-time cuppa, tackling a part of the field which really wasn't necessary. It's whacked wide to Murty. Parker puts him off. A strange old buzz around the stadium. Quite as bad as the Manchester City game last night, when both sets of fans were booing the Blues. There's encouragement for Ryan Giggs and McClare. This is Davis. Irwin. Passing has been reasonable up to the final third of the field. See what I mean? Then it all falls apart. McGibbon. Parker. On the tightrope. Neville. McGibbon again. Oh, it's charged down. Peveril in quickly, and Pilkington alert to the situation. He's completely miskicked. It's enough to send Peveril wide. these Manchester United players wondered what the boss was like in the changing room at half-time when he's angry. I think they could be about to find out in about 9 minutes' time. Initiation to the first team for a few of the reserve team members probably begins very soon. It has to be said, plenty of encouragement and advice being offered out there as well. It's a big night for York, but each of their team is far more experienced than those players in the red shirts. Turned by Barnes, a very experienced player who's performed in all 4 divisions at some stage during his career. Davis. Pallister. Pallister, tonight captain of Manchester United. Beckham. Pat McGibbon. Irwin to Sharp. Now Davis playing inside of Sharp at the moment. Beckham. Irwin. So more patience, more structured build-up. Sharp throws in a few tricks. Irwin, well, he was shoved off the ball. It was shoulder to shoulder, says the referee. Manchester United keeping possession. Neville. Neville goes again. This is a more determined run. A little bit more direct, an appeal for a penalty. A half-hearted look really from Brian McClare, and Giggsy almost gets in. And Brian McClare clattered from behind, but a fair challenge it had to be said, and to be fair to McClare as well, he didn't moan and groan or appeal too loudly. Hall. A little dummy in there, which Barnes wasn't expecting. McGibbon gets there first. This is Barnes. Strong challenge from Parker. Lovely ball from Barnes to Hall. Good cross from Hall. Oh, flashes across the goal. Well-timed clearance by Irwin. The red warning lights are flashing. Parker gives the ball away in a very dangerous position. Redeemed himself somewhat. Now Irwin helps it on to Davis. The ball carries well for him. Doesn't have a great deal of support. Looks for the head of Giggs. Giggs gets there just before Hall as well. And Ryan Giggs, the aerial threat. A new role for him. Into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Hall. Graham Murty. Only the second time ever that York City have played at Old Trafford. Confident defending, defensive play by McGibbon to Pallister. Now McClare. Irwin. Davis, the pass too crisp. Good tackle. Sets Peveril away. He sees the goals and starts thinking of glory. Now Hall's header. Easy clearance from the Gibbon. But York still have possession. They still have their noses in front. It is Hall. Barnes. York City certainly earning the respect of United with his performance. Murty wide to Barnes. Certainly the King of York tonight. I should say the Duke of York. McMillan. Patient build-up, but Irwin wins it back. Sharp hustled off the ball. Free kick to Manchester United. Just a couple of minutes to go to the half-time whistle. Beckham to Parker. Cut out by McMillan. Straight back to Parker. A game which needs livening up a little bit. Started at quite a pace. Since York took that lead, they've been quite happy to sit back, soak up, contain. Manchester United haven't yet found the key to the door. Here's Giggs. Hall sticks to his task and throws Ryan Giggs a dummy. Now there's a little reversal of roles. Two players offside, Peveril and the right winger who'd come inside, Darren Williams. This is Parker. Sharp. Parker again. Great marking, it has to be said, by York. There's a red shirt just in the shadow, there's a blue shirt as well. Pepper getting through an awful lot of work. Tackling and determination from the Paul Ince mould. Just seconds away from the final whistle of the first half. The referee checking his watch. And there we go, a fairly miserable first half for Manchester United. And it's the York fans who raise their voices, put their hands together and greet their heroes as they head down the tunnel. That Paul Barnes deflected shot separating the two teams and causing a shock over 45 minutes. Join us after the break. Half-time, Manchester United 0, York City 1. The York City fans rise to their feet and cheer the heroes back onto the Old Trafford surface. I would imagine they've been having champagne with their tea at half-time, such are the celebrations. 45 minutes to go tonight, and of course the second leg in York as well. Manchester United are going to be making a substitution at half-time. It's Richard Cook down there who's waiting patiently to come on. Sorry, Terry Cook, who's waiting patiently to come on.
The substitute for Manchester United replacing number 7, Philip Neville, is number 14, Terry Cook.
The substitution confirmed. It's Philip Neville who's gone off, and it's Terry Cook who's coming on once he's had the chain removed from his neck by the linesman. And they'll add a little bit of trickery and a great deal of width to this Manchester United side. And hopefully a few game-winning ideas as well. He had a wonderful debut at the weekend against Bolton. Much promise. Let's hope he can deliver as much tonight for Manchester United. So I'm sure it's filtered back to every home around the nation that Manchester, every footballing home around the nation, that Manchester United are trailing at half-time to lowly York City in the Coca-Cola Cup. What will they be saying at full-time? Maybe a few newspaper headline writers who will be having a field day at the moment. Ryan Giggs could rewrite those headlines. Good direct play right from the start of the second half. Davis to Giggs. Giggs is short. Oh, an interesting diving header at ankle height. Clearance from Tuttle. Davis, Giggs, nonchalant header, goes nowhere, and Paul Parker's going to have to let that one go for goalkeeper Pilkington. Ryan Giggs is struggling, that's the bad news here on the left wing. Seems to have just pulled up a little bit. So stopping, almost getting to the ball first though. Here's Pallister. Parker makes an angle. Terry Cook, the substitute, gets an early touch. Now Davis, had a quiet first half, needs to really establish himself in a first team shirt. Peveril. Chase, but no problem for goalkeeper Pilkington. He's classed himself as really unlucky to have conceded a goal. Certainly he was nowhere to blame. And I'm sure Peter Schmeichel's put one of those long arms around his shoulders at half-time and offered him several words of encouragement. Owen. He'd always back Owen in a situation like that, put under pressure from Darren Williams. United looking a little shaken after 5 magnificent Premiership victories in a row. Coming unstuck against unlikely opponents. Beckham to Pallister. A little run by McClare, making space. The pass wasn't quite as good though, in fact nowhere near as good. Go up, asking for offside, he wasn't, and that's got to be a penalty. Well, it's got to be a sending off, unfortunately, I think, for Pat McGibbon. I don't think there's any other alternative for the referee. Barnes had turned him, and the referee has no option other than to show the debutant red. And the night, which was going to be one to remember for Pat McGibbon, has turned into a nightmare for Pat McGibbon. It's a long, long walk the whole length of the field for the young Irishman. And the referee has pointed to the penalty spot. I think the incident was outside the area. Barnes is certainly taking the ball and putting it on the spot. There's a lot of argument. Now the replay, I'm sure, will show that the incident was originally outside. The fact that Barnes tumbled inside the box has convinced the referee. Barnes prepares to take his second. He's looking for a second goal, Barnes. He's got it, and he can feel the tremor around Great Britain. York City are upsetting the apple cart big time. Manchester United 2 goals down and down to 10 men. This isn't in the script. Well, you have the feeling when Mr. Rushton sees that incident back, and the linesman, they may wish they'd reconsidered their verdict. McGowan certainly appeared to make the first contact, commit the first foul just outside the area. And the linesman on this side of the field isn't winning too many friends at Old Trafford. Pepper's cross, easy for Bilkins, it's not, he's lost it! Oh my word, it's 3-0! Tony Barras rose above Kevin Pilkington then, and that's going to complete a night of misery for Manchester United. Oh my word, what a shock. This is the stuff that Roy the Rovers annuals are made of. The cheer from the York City fans will no doubt be magnified around the countries of Great Britain. There's news: Manchester United 0, York City 3. It's a long, long road back. 3 away goals as well. There goes Brian McClare. We have a game on our hands. Beckham to Irwin. Now Beckham again. Irwin to Cook. The easiest of situations to come on as a substitute and face. Davies to Giggs. Wide goes Shaw. Requires some magic from him. It's inside the area, but the tackles were good. Steve Bruce is about to come on as a substitute any moment now. York's 2-goal marksman Barnes is sitting off the field. Giggs takes the corner. Oh, the chance goes just inches wide. Rather acrobatic attempt from Brian McClare, goes awry. And they're even in terms of number of players at the moment. As Barnes prepares to come back on, Steve Bruce is going to make an entrance. Barnes comes on. It's 11 against 10 in terms of numbers for York City. Pallister brings the ball out from the back. York Alex Ferguson has gone for a three-man defence at the moment. He has to go for goals. This is Davis. Now Beckham. The passes lacked any incision, any real meaning. That's from the red shirts. Can't speak too highly of this spirited team from Yorkshire. It's going to be Simon Davis, who comes off in a moment for Steve Bruce. And again the flag stays down. Barnes is away looking for his hat-trick. The ball just, thankfully for Manchester United, sped away from him. Here's Sharp. Beckham. As brilliant as the performance was at the weekend, this has been a complete and utter contrast. Paul Parker. Davis. Can he do something before going off? He doesn't get the free kick. He was said to have ran into the York defender. And again the flag stays down. Here is a chance for a York City fourth. It's Peveril, and he just loses concentration and balance and sighted the goal at the wrong moment for him. Credit to Paul Parker, who'd scuttled back to put him off. And there's a bit of an inquest going on in that defence. That could so easily have been a fourth goal. The substitution is made. Steve Bruce comes on, Simon Davis goes off. And Bruce will bark out some instructions. Ryan Giggs told to get in a more attacking role. Dennis Irwin, who had been playing at right back, comes back to left. Play by Giggs. Keeping his head but not keeping his feet. Now Steve Bruce. Says in his CV, inspirational captain. How much inspiration can he provide tonight? Millen lets the ball go out. Every second wasted. It's a second gained for York. Give you an opportunity as soon as the game is over to see the incident which led to the second goal, the penalty, which I'm sure Alex Ferguson will say has turned the tide in this game. Alex Ferguson's that substitution was being made was some rather strong unbroadcastable words with the linesman on this near side of the field, who judged it was a penalty. Pilkington comes and Steve Bruce takes it around his own goalkeeper. There was a bit of a push in there from the York defender, and the linesman trying to make up maybe by giving Manchester United the free kick, but I fear, as far as he's concerned, the damage has been more than done tonight. Williams looking for Barnes, he's offside. Ironic cheers from the United faithful for the linesman on this side of the field. Mr. Haxby, who is a Merseysider. Terry Cook. Dennis Irwin. cut out by McMillan. Close control as McMillan gets it back, has a check, who's free? Williams is. Pepper. McMillan again. And the way York are playing at the moment, you'd have thought the teams had swapped shirts. No mistake in this guy there, that's Giggs. Picking that space to run into, it's asking a lot. And the York fans not only cheering every pass, they're cheering every breath of their heroes at the moment. Away York go, looking for a fourth. They can't quite believe there is. They've almost got one. Barnes is there, but he's offside. He thought he had his hat-trick then. It was a hairline decision from a linesman on this side who gave a penalty to change the game. He spurred United a fourth with a controversial decision in the eyes of the York centre forward. I don't think there was any doubt that he was in an offside position. Hard the hearts of Gary Pallister and Steve Bruce racing a bit. McMillan. Barnes. Lovely layoff. Peveril gets it back. Pallister's there. McMillan. Pepper. Sharp to Beckham, to Leclerc, now Paul Parker. Sharp, he's all alone though, nobody within 25 yards of him. Beckham gets it, it's rather one-dimensional and Cook's offside anyway. "17 minutes gone in the second half. Nobody can quite believe the scoreboard reads Manchester United 0, York City 3. 20-1 you would have got on that before the game. But there are a few more generous odds as well, making around some of the unofficial bookies. This is Dennis Owen. Lee Sharp. Beckham, wide is Parker. Bruce to Sharp. It's a better build-up, he needs support. Sharp gets it on his favoured left foot. He's tried to chip the goalkeeper, but it's one of those nights. Being backed into by Mickey Peveril. Parker. Terry Cook comes off ball. I'm sure the thoughts of the manager after the game is going to be that any defeat is hard to stomach, but a defeat which is turned by a controversial penalty decision is all more difficult to digest. If it stays that way, Manchester United might yet come back. It's going to require a little more gumption than they're showing at the moment. Almost 3/4 of this first leg. Coca-Cola Cup round 2. Steve Bruce. Leclerc to Parker. You can't argue there's no experience in the team at the moment. There's a smattering of players who've seen and done it all. Here's one of the youngsters, Cook, puts in a good cross. Keeley just gets his fingertips there. Another night that may have beaten the goalkeeper. The gods are working against Manchester United. Pallister, Sharp. Now Giggs. This is Irwin. Giggs again. Scoots inside the defender. Ryan Giggs magic. Beats 3, beats 4, puts in a good cross. Owen, it's an even better cross. Causing a bit of panic in the York defence. Has to be said, there hasn't been much of it. Owen again to Ryan Giggs, shaking off any injury he may have had earlier in the game. As Pepper brings the ball forward and Barnes makes a lovely little scoot inside Pallister, but Pallister keeps his feet, those long legs stay together. Tuttle's header, there is a player offside in Barnes who's not seen to be interfering. Still is interfering. 2 goals. Oh, terrible tackle. It's going to be a yellow. Nigel Pepper follows David Beckham into the book, and of course Pat McGibbon as well. York make their substitution. Paul Atkin comes on, and off goes their strikers, Nicky Peverell, 22-year-old who's had a great game, worked very hard, a night he's never ever going to forget. Substitute, Paul Atkin, one of the School of Excellence guys. He was a student at the National School with Andy Cole. This is Pallister, allowed to carry the ball forward. York getting literally everybody back behind the ball, sitting on a 3-goal lead. Steve Bruce to Giggs. Cooks wide. That's a lovely ball by Giggs. This could be a consolation. A great save by Keeley. Little chipped header from Leclerc again. But look at York, they get 3 players back on the line. That's the commitment to the cause from the Yorkshireman. When he looks in, they squirm through the goalkeeper's grasp and roll over the line. When he looks out, you find defenders springing up from the grassroots of the pitch. This is McClare. Giggs is offside. Great deal of the United fans, but they raise their voices a little in support of the players. We have just over 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes for Manchester United to find some reply to the 3 York goals. Ryan Giggs looking for Beckham. This is Kiley. That's a tester for Pilkington as Barnes is sneaking in once again. chip over the top, comes off the back of Beckham. Now Ryan Giggs, full steam ahead. Giggs looking for McClair, doesn't find him, falls away from Sharp. Irwin, shooting distance, thinks twice about that, and is quite happy to come away with the corner. It is Andy McMillan to concede only a corner. Pallister and Bruce join the attack. Kiley gets a punch to the ball. Sharp back to Cook. Drops to the feet of Bruce. Now Beckham. Fluency has crept into the United player over the last few minutes. Cook has swapped wings. Cross from him, teasing the goalkeeper, but is in command. Turn from Barnes. Wide on the right. Proudly wearing the number 8 shirt is Williams. And a better catch and cross. Pilkington, who runs into the substitute Atkin, who, to be fair to him, couldn't really get out of the way. It was a collision. Oh, it's really petty refereeing. That really is uncalled for. Nothing that Atkin could do to get out of the way there, which I think Pilkington was pointing out to the referee. That's silly. Here is Atkin. Away goes Barnes again. He's in between two defenders, and it's a... Was it a back pass? The referee gives Dennis Irwin the benefit of the doubt. One of the few times the decisions have gone the way of Manchester United, and I'm sure York won't be too unhappy at that particular decision. And McClair. All for York City. Manchester United caught a little bit short at the back. Everybody wanting to get that goal. Graham Murty this time with an adventurous 25 to 30 yarder. There's a few copies of this video are going to be stored away in the homes of the York players. Barnes. Steve Bruce to Beckham. Cook comes short. Met by 3 defenders though. Just under half an hour gone of the second half. And the referee has gone card crazy this time. Barnes. No, it's not. It's Atkin. He's going to send him off. Oh dear me. Dear me, referee. Paul Atkin, who was booked for blocking the goalkeeper inadvertently 2 minutes ago, he's now sent off for kicking the ball away. It maybe was a silly thing to do. The referee reduces both teams to 10 men. Well, I wonder what the assessor's report is going to make of Mr. Rushton tonight. Mr. Rushton in his defence, I'm sure, will be saying that he's sticking completely to the letter of the law. Sometimes those laws have to be a little flexible.
And tonight's attendance here in Manchester United is 29,049, 29049.
Terrible pass by Pallister. There's a chance for a fourth. Can't quite reach Barnes. Sharp picks up the ball, plays it to Beckham, back to Sharp. Now Terry Cook. Reminded that inside Old Trafford is the only place you're going to get the full exclusive commentary and coverage of this game tonight. Owen to McClare. Now Pallister. Number 11 needs no introduction. Cross not quite becoming of the man though. Ball for Beckham. Two players making a run into the area. There'll be 11 heroes in blue shirts. They may be reduced to 10 at the moment. Barras getting a head in, keeping sheet clean. It's 10 aside. Yorker leading Manchester United 3-0. Riley Cummins gets there just before the floppy head of Giggs. Now Gary Pallister, what's his crossing like? He should be on the end of it. Giggs back header and almost an own goal. A loud appeal for handball. The referee points to his chest though. Clearly coming off the lower shoulder of Steve Tuttle, back to his goalkeeper. Giggs shields it well from McMillan, who has really earned himself a reputation tonight, the young York City number 2. Pallister. Steve Bruce playing now as a centre forward. It's all hands to the deck. There's a chance. McClare's in. The angle's tight. Can he get it there? No, he can't. That picture tells a very long and sad Manchester United story. Ill winds have been blowing against United. Superb at the weekend. And words desert me at the moment for their performance tonight. Owen. Sharp. Now Terry Cook. Into the final 10 minutes. One goal can really change the pace of the game for United. Steve Bruce playing centre forward, a position he played early in his career, trying to get around the defender, held down, and no doubt about it, a free kick. The fullback better watch it. The referee stood for no lip and no messing tonight. They could send another player off. This is Irwin. Dinks it in. Again, great defending. Giggs. There's no support. How frustrating. Going up against 5 defenders there. This is Beckham. York with, I was going to say 10 players back behind the ball. It's 9. Grains of sand disappearing down the hourglass. Giggs curls one in. Kylie comes late. Beckham, second stab for Giggs. It's a better cross. Was it a shot? Came to nothing. Didn't matter in the end. The York fans waving to the camera. I'm sure they're all going to know where they were on Wednesday, the 20th of September 1995. The day will be marked in the York City history books forevermore. Pallister certainly not going to put the ball out of play with a York player down rubbing his knee. Here's McClare. Holds it up well. That's not a bad cross, but Steve Bruce was waiting in the middle. The cross went to the near. Now Giggs. Sharp. Beckham. Bruce the centre forward. Kylie will hold on to that for as long as the referee will allow him. Just over 5 minutes to go here at Old Trafford. No time to sit back and mull over this. Presuming it's going to be defeat for Manchester United. 3 tough games coming up. Sheffield Wednesday, and ironically, if United win, they will go top of the Premiership for 24 hours at least, with Newcastle playing on Sunday. On the road to Volograd next week in the UEFA Cup. And the big one, the return of Eric Cantona. October the 1st. Beckham needs to roll the ball up as Gary Pallister joins the attack. Bruce and Pallister make runs. It's in for the head of Bruce, and there it was, but inches wide. He'd done everything right, but the rangefinder was just a touch out of focus. McClare. Certainly can't question United's attitude. Experienced players have still continued to try and show the way. McClare and Bruce and Giggs and Sharp and Pallister. It's been a miserable old night, but nobody's sat back and hidden. Giggs swings one in. Just knocked away. Rather unsporting to say that Manchester United deserved to score, because York's defence has been exemplary. The goalkeeper has had the quieter night of the two. No saves to make. Here's Bruce, blasted in, and still it won't go in. And still it won't go in. And if they play until midnight, I don't think Manchester United are going to score a goal tonight. 99 times out of 100 those chances will end up in the onion bag. Tonight is not one of those nights. Here's Giggs. There are forces against United blowing the ball away from that 18-yard box out of Kylie's goal. Owen. See, everything falling York's way. What a great night for York City, and a night that Alex Ferguson and his team just have to put down as a living nightmare and a very bad experience. Two balls on the pitch now. I still don't think United could score a goal. They seem to have extra players on the pitch, York. There's another header from Bruce. Again, it's just mistimed. The final minute of the game. Pallister to Beckham. Now Irwin. Cook. Irwin again. Bruce, good control. He's taking the place. He's taking a claim for a place in attack as he goes in, and Kylie just gets there. Seconds ticking away, and I wouldn't imagine there's a player on the field that doesn't want that full-time whistle to go now. York to start their celebrations, Manchester United to get back to the sanctity of the changing room. To say we'll try and replay the goal which probably turned the game, the penalty early in the second half, which may or may not have been in the area. My feeling is, having seen it from one of the best vantage points, was that the initial shoving and pulling from Pat McGibbon was outside of the area. Barnes did finally hit the deck just inside. The foul, I'm sure, was out. It was Giggs. I don't think Pat McGibbon really has a case to answer in terms of his sending off. And Old Trafford rises, especially into our right-hand side, to greet the number 12, Paul Baker. Really, it's the man who's going off who gets most applause. Paul Barnes, 2-goal hero. What a night he's had. Thought he had a hat-trick as well, but his third goal was disallowed for a quite clear offside. To Sharp. Now it's Paul Parker. We're into stoppage time. Flick. Parker lets it go. Oh, he's left it to the goalkeeper. There's a chance for a fourth goal. Can't believe you're saying that, really. Aaron Williams, the man through on that occasion. United had had 2 clean sheets in a row before tonight, and this is their worst defeat of the season. There's Bruce. And Ryan Giggs. Great tackle. And that sums up the commitment, the determination, the strength, the willingness. Adjectives flow for this York City performance. Bruce. Giggs. Lee Sharp. It's a night that York fans are going to be telling their grandchildren about. The night I went to Old Trafford and saw York City beat Manchester United, the great Manchester United, by 3-0. There's a few premature celebrations from the York fans as he blows his whistle, but it's not full time yet. He's checking his watch. Only time to be added on was for the 2 dismissals. Kenneth York, McGibbon on his debut for Manchester United. To feel for Kevin Pilkington, maybe slow on the punch for the 3rd goal, but nowhere to blame for the other 2. And who knows when Pilkington will get his next chance with the form consistency and hopefully the freeness from injury of Pimish Michael. Well, emergency stuff when the centre forwards are Gary Pallister and Steve Bruce. Parker, the only man holding the fort at the back at the moment. I imagine it'll be a race to the tunnel for the United players when the full-time whistle goes. And there it is. What a night for York City. One of the greatest nights in their history. They've beaten Manchester United by 3-0. A night of 3 goals, 2 dismissals. And it ends in agony for number 7, Graham Murty, who's got a rather nasty head injury. Let's hope that it's not too serious and he can join in the celebrations with the rest of his teammates. It's almost the conga on the terraces. Those York fans are going to remember this date, the 20th of September 1995. One of the greatest nights in the club's history. They've still got to finish it off at Bootham Crescent, but they're going to be partying on this one for at least a fortnight. A great performance, it has to be said, for York. A great night for them, and Manchester United's players and management and everybody concerned will just think of this as a very bad nightmare. As most of the players go to greet the fans, a very sad scene of number 7, Graham Murty, one of the young players, has been a hero tonight, receiving emergency treatment. Taken a blow to the head. A stretcher. He's going to take Murty away. They've asked for a stretcher for him to be carried on. They don't want to lift him off the field. Very, very sad sight, which has really marred a great night for the York City players. Let's wish him well. This is Rob Palmer wishing you a very safe journey home and a great night for York. A very sad night for Manchester United. Final score here at Old Trafford: Manchester United 0, York City 3.